Hello and welcome to the OverShadow Shadowcast with Thomas Anderson and Abigail.
Your microphone cut out as you said mow it.
I like to moo it.
Sexy and
Whatever
I mow
happened to
it.
Chewits? Whatever happened to Chewits? Do Chewits still exist?
I think they do, but they're not as big as they once were. 'Cause I remember used to be Chewit adverts on like 5 times. Do you know why there's less adverts? It's because of the law. You can't have like junk food adverts on at certain times of the day, so I think only the most popular ones get advertised now.
Yeah, I like to chew it.
I like the Chewits. We can't be singing any more stuff, as we might get copyrighted. Rated? Stuff.
We might get copyrighted.
Copyrighted.
We
Rated.
might get the copyright violation.
Yeah,
Well,
why?
actually, no. This is all fair stuff. We're asking each other what happened to Chewits as a brand, and then we're discussing the fact
Yeah, but we were
that
singing at the beginning.
doesn't matter. And then we're just talking about the adverts and the fact you can't have them on TV. That's fair use because that was the advert. I like to chew it. Chew it was the advert,
Yeah.
so that's fair use. So no, we wouldn't be copyrighted.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Chewits, I'm not gonna lie. One of my favourite Chewy sweets is Blackjacks.
Oh yes.
They're my favourite. I love a Blackjack. And I only ever have them at Halloween because they come in the big tubs and nobody likes them. So they're all mine. All the Blackjacks are mine. I don't like the fruit salad things. Nah, not so much. I like the Blackjacks.
I prefer the fruit salads.
Well, then we shall get a packet and I shall have the Blackjacks and you shall have the fruit salads.
We shall have a standing order to be delivered to the studio of blackjacks and fruit salads.
I'll just have two
And
massive jars.
one day they will give the wrong jar to the wrong person. And we will have to have the delivery man executed.
I'm trying to think of all the other sweets I liked as a kid. I like the double dip things. You had it's like sherbet, like two different types of sherbet. Sherbet. And then you had like the stick, and you'd like lick the stick, and then you stick it in the sherbet. Or dip dabs. I love the dip dab. You just like yeah.
Yeah, that was good. A blackjack is also a type of weapon.
How? Am I gonna have to cut this bit out? How?
No, it's just a lead weight inside a leather container, either with a thick strap or with
Why do you know
a
this?
handle.
Why do you know this?
The blackjack was the weapon of choice of Garrett in Thief.
Ah, a game thing. Okay.
Yes, and Thief was Thief Deadly Shadows was a big game when
Did you?
as in for me, I played it. And nobody else I know played it, but I played it and I thought it was brilliant.
What was that thing? It was part like gel and it was part lollipop. I can't remember what it was. It was like a sour sweet. So like the bottom, so it had like a lollipop that came out at the bottom, and on top it had like a squeegee gel, and you'd pour it on the lollipop and then you'd eat it. I would just basically just eat the gel. Oh, that's gonna bug me. What was there was also what was it? The baby bottle things. Do you remember the baby bottles? On top it was a lollipop, and you'd like suck on it, and then you'd take the top off, and then it'd have like, again sherbet in the bottom,
Oh
and then you'd shake
yeah,
it.
I never had one of those because I couldn't work out how the hell to eat it. I know that sounds stupid, but I couldn't work out how to eat it, so I never had it.
I also used to remember they used to have like candy sprays, and that's what they were called. It wasn't called a sweetie spray, it was called a candy spray. It was just sugar water. That's all it was. And you'd spray it on your tongue.
Yeah, I didn't really get the fancy sweets very much.
They weren't fancy, they were just weird.
Well, weird, sorry, because I was a bit, I didn't know how to eat it. And if I didn't know how to eat it, I just put it in my mouth. So, like, I'm pretty certain that I didn't know how to eat a sherbet dib dab properly. I think I was honestly just pouring the sherbet into my mouth and then eating the chewy stick thing. So
I just imagined at that point where you said if I didn't know how to eat it, I'd just stick it in my mouth. I just imagine like a giant lobster being put in front of you and not knowing how to eat it, so you're just like sitting there, this lobster just hanging in your mouth.
still clamping away with its claws and just looking at everything.
Or I remember when I was a kid, I went to, it was like a family function. It was at Christmas time. They had prawns, but I couldn't remember. I had like, you know how sometimes prawns have the tail on? I didn't know if I was supposed to eat that or not, so I ate it. And everyone just could not stop laughing at that. I was like, I couldn't remember if I was supposed to take the shell off or not.
Yeah, I remember when I was last big family holiday that it was a wedding we were at. in 2017, and it was in the south of Ireland. So we had surf and turf,
Yeah.
king prawn, like proper big size king prawn, lobster, and steak.
Oh, sounds
It was like a
good.
buffet type thing, and it was delicious.
Sounds it. The first
It
time I
was really
ever
good.
heard the first time I ever heard about surf and turf, for some reason, I thought it was like, this gonna sound so stupid. I thought it was a steak with some like grass on it
How
because
does that doesn't work? That's turf and turf.
I know, but for some reason I thought that's what it was. I'm just an idiot. It was, oh, I don't know why I thought that. I was like, turf? Because my mom would talk about a steak with surf and turf. And I just thought it was like I thought maybe it was created somewhere that was like called surf something. And that's what I thought it was. A steak with some like grass on it.
I refuse to interact with you for another 30 seconds.
I'm trying to
I
remember.
used to
Sorry.
I used to like the white chocolate sweets that have all been discontinued now.
Oh
So
no.
Dream or the snowflake, which was the flake but with white chocolate in the
I remember
inside.
that. I do not
Ah,
like white chocolate. But have you seen that
I
they've
mean, it was
brought out
dark one.
have you seen they've brought out a white chocolate Terry's chocolate orange?
No.
Yes, they have.
Oh.
Have I made you happy?
It's the first. I typed in white cho and it came up chocolate orange. Oh.
Well, I know what you're going to be having at Christmas. I know what Santa's going to be leaving in your stocking. It's going to be a white chocolate orange.
Ooh.
There's never been so many contrasting colours within a sentence. A white chocolate orange.
Is chocolate a color?
I would
suppose
say
some
chocolate
people
is a
would-
colour.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Orange is definitely
Mm.
a colour.
Yes. I'd have called chocolate brown, but I see what you mean. It's you could refer to it as a shade of some sort of brown.
Yeah, all the chocolate.
Ooh.
What have you discovered?
There's a white Twix.
Yeah, that's been around for a long time, has it not?
Aye, but I don't eat sweeties.
You live
I
a
definitely
sad
don't eat
life.
much chocolate. I don't eat much chocolate at all.
I know you can't
Ooh.
eat chocolate.
Those white M&Ms.
Ugh.
Yeah, I can't eat just solid big bars of chocolate. They don't sit well. They make me feel quite
Sick.
off. Yeah.
Anyway, shall we stop talking about all the sweeties? Because we could talk about this for like 10 minutes.
So I suppose it's not a big thing. They don't make dreams, but white is different actually. I think white chocolate I can eat and I don't feel too bad.
It's
It's
because
normal chocolate.
I think it's because obviously normal chocolate is less fattening, whereas white chocolate is very fattening because it's just milk pretty much. It's like cream.
It's also the fat off of the cocoa bean. It's not the actual cocoa. And I
Yeah.
don't think I like cocoa very much.
Yeah. There's some people that are allergic to chocolate, like
Yeah,
full
yeah,
on
there are.
chocolate. I think was it
Full on chocolate. They're
full on
allergic to
chocolate.
chocolate like full on chocolate. I
full on
think you meant to say
chocolate.
like full on allergic.
No, I mean like dark chocolate, milk chocolate. That's what I meant. That's what I call full on chocolate. I don't call white chocolate full chocolate. It's not worthy of the title.
Right, okay.
Right. So, shall we talk about what we've been playing this week after we've made ourselves very hungry at the thought of eating many chocolates and sweets? Hello?
I'm trying to blow a raspberry without covering my mic in
Spit.
fluids. There we go.
So, shall I talk about what I've been playing this week and then you could talk about it and then we could talk about
No,
blah, blah, blah?
I blew a raspberry. That you don't just keep moving on from that.
I am
You
going to
have
keep moving on from there.
No, you have to take the appropriate moment.
I have been playing this week more Halo 2 by myself and I'm stuck again. It's very irritating, but I can't talk about it all that much because I know Tommy doesn't like spoilers, so I can't really go into it. Because I'm up against enemies and they are very difficult to kill and I keep getting blown up.
I'm just taking my moment to. There's also a white Snickers bar to properly digest the raspberry that I blew.
Oh, and by the way, you did hear my chair squeaking in the episode last week. I just wanted to make that very clear.
Okay, so you're struggling on Halo 2.
Yeah, I can't talk
On
about.
heroic.
Yeah, well, I thought it was on Legendary, and then you told me last week, oh, you're actually on Heroic, you cheater.
Yeah, you sent me a screenshot and I said that's heroic.
I thought it was
What?
on Legendary. I was quite upset, but
I've never played it through on Legendary,
I know
by the way.
you told us.
So for
You told us
it's
last
just
week.
something I never did because I was like 13 or 14. I never did it. And yeah, I would have been shocked if you had been able to just play through that on Legendary. I would have believed it, but it would have been, oh, well done you. It makes more sense now because you rocketed through the first half of that game. Oh yeah, I'm just on Legendary. I started it like 4 hours ago and I'm halfway through. What?
It actually makes me very
so,
sad because
yeah.
I was so happy at the fact that I gotten through some of it a little bit easier than the first time, and now I discovered, oh, it's actually because it was on a level lower down than what I actually thought it was. So that was upsetting. But yeah, so I'm at the moment stuck. I'm constantly getting surrounded by enemies. But I think it's just because also I've not played it in such a long time that I'm forgetting certain steps. And I'll get through it because I got through it once before, so I'll get through it again. But it's just taking a heck of a long time.
Yeah, and then one day we will play Legendary
Yes, but
on the channel,
in the
and we
meantime,
will play Legendary on the channel, and it will be glorious,
in the
and we'll
meantime,
die hundreds of times.
we have also been playing Halo 2 Anniversary custom games. Have we
Custom
not?
multiplayer.
Custom multiplayer. But we have we not?
Yes, we have.
And what happened?
See, you
I
can
don't
take
care.
it if you
I'm
want,
taking
but
it.
I just think genuinely there's a decorum.
Don't
There's
rob me of my
also
happiness, please.
I'm not robbing you of it. I don't think it's there, and I don't like it when people delude themselves. We played a game in which the score finished 10-5 to you,
Yay!
but at like
Abigail wins.
6-1,
Abigail wins all the games.
it's
Abigail's
6-1.
the greatest.
Abigail,
Abigail's the
it's
greatest.
Abigail, stop it. At 6-1, we noticed that something was not going right and that I was basically not in control of my guy.
There was a hindrance.
It was like massive second long delays. There was lag in my controller, basically. If I was jumping, sometimes it wouldn't do it. If I was reloading it, sometimes it wouldn't do it. It was like playing Halo with if the designers had been the team that make FIFA,
Yes.
and it just wasn't working.
So I won.
So you managed to get to 10 first. I turned off my controller, left it a moment, turned it back on. We played again, and I won 10-5.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. It was fun to think I'd actually properly beaten you.
But I think we can agree that that's not what happened.
Abigail won though. Abigail did win. It was a win.
No, I you can have it if you want it, but I don't think it's a real win, and I think you're doing yourself
I'm
a
taking
disservice.
it. I'm
I
taking
don't
it
think you
as a
should.
win.
Abigail, I
Abigail
really don't think.
wins. Abigail wins.
Abigail, I know you
Abigail
think
beat
you're
Tommy.
I know you think you're making fun of me, but you're not. You're making fun of yourself.
Shut
If you
up.
if you don't think that you can win fairly, that's the only reason you would take that.
Abigail
And I think you
is
can
so
win fairly.
great.
We've had games where it's been 25-20. You know, you've got really close to winning. We've had 10-8s and stuff like that, or 10-7s at least, 10-6s, something close. There is no need for you to take that as your first proper win. It shows that if I don't play my best, you will win. But there's a difference between me not playing my best and just having a controller that's literally walking me in directions
Yeah.
I'm not
But
picking.
then we played a game the other night and you just decided to create the game and then you added a banshee in.
I didn't add that. That's natural on that map. It just gets taken out for snipers.
It was so annoying. So I was like, how the heck do I... You took
Yeah,
away the snipers, you took away the grenades, and
Yes,
you
I
had
started
rocket
us with the
launchers and the
No.
banshee.
So what happened was I tried to pick the weapons, and for some reason it didn't work, and it because I was in the wrong options, and it started us with the weapons that are already on the map,
Yeah.
and you got in the Banshee, but I didn't even kill you really. You got in the Banshee and immediately, because we're on this sort of like tower of rock, just drove it straight down. You just flew straight down and blew up.
I
I don't know
didn't...
how you.
I
Oh,
didn't fly it. That was the problem. I
boom.
forgot how to fly it.
You forgot to invert.
I forgot to switch the engine on.
No, you don't switch the engine on.
Well, you know what I mean.
Once you get in, the engine turns on.
Ah.
Either it took off and you. I think if you don't use any of the controls in a Banshee, it just hovers a bit.
No, well, it just didn't. It just kept going down. It blew up.
Oh, I remember. You have to pull the right trigger to move.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
what's
do
happened.
that.
You were just using the sticks. You weren't
that's what I
pushing
mean.
the right trigger, I think.
That's
no,
what I
no,
mean.
no, wait, stop. No, that's wrong. Right trigger is the weapons. It's the move stick to use the engines.
Oh, I don't know. It just didn't work. I was
Yeah,
very
you
upset.
just weren't doing something.
I'm just very upset.
And then you blew up.
Yeah,
You
but
weren't upset, you were
also,
laughing your head off.
what we did was we actually tried that original map because we talked about what would happen if we went back and played that. Like the big one. Was it Blood Gulch?
Aye, do you know what they call it in the original Halo 2?
No.
Coagulation.
Ugh, don't
That's
like
pretty
it.
good.
It's not a fun. It's not a nice word though. I understand it, but it's not a nice word. Ugh.
Boo.
Coagulation.
There's also Battle Creek. Is it
Was
Battle Creek?
Battle Creek was the teeny tiny one, was it not?
Yeah, you picked that one by mistake. Yeah, we somehow managed to run around that teeny tiny map for 7.5 minutes and not find each other.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
That was brilliant though. We did really well.
It was like a 10 minute long fight, 7.5 minute long fight, or something like that. And we killed each other like twice, and that was it. I think I
Yeah.
won
We
2
we
nil,
stopped.
and that
No,
was
we
it.
stopped it because we realized it was too small. I was getting too scared
I
because you
think it
were.
might have been 1-0, and then we had to just turn it off because we couldn't find each other.
I shot you through a car at one point,
Oh, yeah,
through a
that was
tiny
annoying.
gap. You
I
didn't get
tried to get
meshed.
you, yeah, I tried to get you to record that, but you didn't.
It was a mistake.
But basically, I could see you through a gap in the car. I got out of the car, hid behind it. I could see you through a gap in it underneath it, like between the wheel and the chassis.
Yeah.
I thought, right, I'll take a shot. So I fired 4 rounds, and it just bounced off of an invisible wall. But then you shot me through the same gap,
Yeah.
and it didn't make any sense.
So what have you been playing? Or
Okay,
have
so I had a big gaming session yesterday with Bampop Bandit.
how did
We
that
were
go?
playing very well. We tried some FIFA
Which one?
20,
Okay.
not 21, 20, and I just hate FIFA, and I think it should die horribly.
Yeah, you
It's just
said that last week. Why did you go and decide to play a mammoth game of it then?
well, we didn't. We just played 2 quick games.
Ah,
It's awful. It's awful. It's probably one of the worst designed games ever, considering that they put millions into it, or they make 1 billion from it a year, and it's been the same evolving code since like 1997, but they still kind of get it right. It's just awful. Like I said, like before, when I was pressing buttons and things weren't going the way they were supposed to, things weren't happening in Halo 2. It was like playing with FIFA, where it was like somebody had designed FIFA, the designers of FIFA had made Halo, because that's what happens. You press A and pick a direction, and it just passes wherever it feels like. There's no real point in you having a controller. You might as well just watch a video of a computer generated football match, because you're not in control of anything. Like the sheer number of times that it will retain a command and then you lose the ball because you pressed A twice 5 minutes ago. Or you think it's going to retain a command and it doesn't. So you lose the ball because you're just standing there and you get tackled. Or you press A to quickly pass the ball on, because if you don't do the pass, you pass to one person and he has to pass it on. And if he doesn't do it quickly, the other person, the third person in this, will be offside. So he takes the ball in, looks at it, kisses it, caresses it, gets it registered for nappies, and then passes it on, and the guy's offside. He's basically talking to the goalkeeper face to face.
yeah.
Or you think, right, I won't pass that on because he'll just take it in and then he'll sit with it for a wee while. I'll pass it across to that person over there, and he immediately passes it. And you're like, if I knew you were going to do that, I would have just played the proper ball.
Yeah.
It might be fun to play in certain circumstances, because I'm playing a career at the minute and I'm having a bit of fun with that. And it's nice to play football on the Xbox, but legitimate when it comes to design, when it comes to the actual design of the game, the actual quality of the controls, it's awful.
Sounds like it.
It seems like, I think the best they got it for me defensively definitely was FIFA 12,
Yeah.
because you could defend properly in that game. I'm not sure about attack, but definitely defend. I've only played FIFA 12, 17, well, since FIFA 12, when I used to like have them every year. Since then, I've only played FIFA 17 and FIFA 20, and they just get worse. I don't know why, but they just keep getting worse and worse and worse. They just can't be bothered making them any good, so they just make wee iterations, just wee tiny wee changes in how things work. And it seems to be they'll just change whatever. It's just like, well, we need to change something. What can we change? The shooting mechanic? Make it needlessly complicated? Okay, because see, at least in FIFA 17, I understood if I press B and do this and then that, that's how the shot works. In this, I literally I will be left on the stick, right?
Yeah.
That should cause the ball to head towards the left-hand post, or the keeper's right-hand post. The left hand is the striker's running towards the goal. I've seen the ball go in the top right-hand corner after doing that. It doesn't make any sense. I've stopped picking sides because I've got no idea what he's going to do anyway. So what's the point?
There is none. There is no point.
It's like they just randomly changed something so they can say they changed it. But
Yeah.
really, if you're thinking about it, they've spent 20 odd years being, like, the past few years for sure, being paid £1 billion a year, like for the past 5 years or 10 years or something like that. And they just don't care to fix anything. They just randomly change something. They don't care if it's better or worse. And then they've just flushed the game out. I'm saying flush
No.
because it's a piece of something that you flush. It's a piece of excrement.
Stop,
A piece
stop,
of
stop, stop, stop,
fecal
stop,
matter.
stop, stop. Stop, stop, stop. I think we have all gotten the point.
But it's the fact that like I checked the achievements. They're all to do with multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like 95% of the achievements are to do with FIFA Ultimate Team, which is where they make their money from buying people FIFA Ultimate packs, people buying FIFA Ultimate Team packs for cards for players. That's where they make their £1 billion,
Yeah.
dollars, sorry. That's ridiculous. Like we need to get these loot boxes and stuff like that banned because it's not a game, right? It's clearly an
It's
addiction. They release
gambling.
one a year and people have to buy the packs.
Yeah.
Like, see if you compare that. I don't like the paid for gambling stuff in GTA 5 online. I don't like it. I want it out. But if you actually look at the game that you're given alongside that, it's a game, you know?
Yeah.
If you look at the game that you get with Halo 5, that's a game. The multiplayer is incredible. And then they give you these wee loot box things that you can pay for or you can just earn in game quite easily. It's not that difficult to earn a loot box, to earn a card pack in Halo 5. I don't like the fact that you can pay for it. I don't like that because I think that people who have a problem will buy into that.
Yeah.
But at least you can earn it. Like, it's really easy to. But FIFA Ultimate Team is just. If you're making £1 billion in a year, that's predatory. If you're then not putting any of that money into designing the next game, that's just not good enough.
No, it is
Like,
not.
you're just doing it purely for obscene levels of profit. You're not even giving back to your player base. So, yeah, that was horrible. We also played F1 2019, which is on the Game Pass, and I don't know what went wrong there, but we kept getting, basically, we took the rules off
Yeah.
because if you have an accident and cut a corner by mistake, it will punish you. Like, I got a 10-second time penalty because I got spun. This was a couple of months ago. I got spun, went into a corner backwards, so I cut a bit of the corner, and I got a 10-second time penalty for being spun.
Yeah.
So we took all the rules off, and it's caused the AI to become insane. I thought when I was picking hard difficulty, it was actually changing the AI's ability to drive. It's not. It's turning them into hard as nails maniacs who just kill you. We got spun constantly. So we did 2 races where we both finished. Well, we didn't finish the second race, and the first race I was like 20th, and Bandit was like 14th or something, so we got no points anyway. Just I was about to finish in like 11th, and just as I was heading into the second last corner, one of the drivers just spun me, just pit maneuvered me for no reason. It's insane.
Well,
So we turned that off and we put on Payday 2. But because we need to move to the stories, I will keep that for next week.
so like Tommy says, we're going to move swiftly, like a bird, onto the stories. I don't understand that.
If birds ever hunted stories or ate
Yes.
newspapers, that would make sense.
Yes. So in the past couple of weeks, not only has the PS5 been open for pre-orders, but so has the Xbox Series X and S, all of which have now completely sold out. I did see some reports that some places still had them, but most retailers I looked at were sold out. So those that have pre-ordered can now sit back and relax while waiting for the launch dates, which are the 19th of November for the PS5 and the 10th of November for the Xbox X and also I believe the Series S to receive their shiny new consoles. Well,
Now that's a UK date for the PlayStation. I think other people get it a week earlier.
yes.
But yeah, when you go.
Well, spanners have gone flying into all kinds of works. Many sources are now reporting a pretty unpleasant surprise for those who have gotten ahead of everyone else with the PS5. Some retailers have been emailing their customers who have pre-ordered, saying that due to the number of pre-orders, they may not receive their consoles on launch day. And in some extreme cases, like some of those who ordered from GameStop Ireland, won't be getting their PS5 consoles till 2021. But what about the Xbox Series X or S? Some buyers have also started getting emails stating they cannot be guaranteed a launch date delivery either.
Pre-order a console
Yep.
and it's going to be months late.
Yeah. So in
That
theory,
does actually raise the question of how are you going to buy one if you didn't pre-order it?
well, I'm thinking they still need to have like an in-store launch, like a official launch. So they must have some in back stock to be able to do that.
I could see huge numbers of complaints if they have some of them sitting in shops and can't send out for
No,
pre-orders. I also,
yeah.
I highly recommend that if you are somebody who normally goes to like a launch thing, don't. You're not going to get one, and you're probably just going to end up coming home with COVID. So I really wouldn't do that.
I imagine that if it's like an in-store thing, they might have just like little slips of like a card that's the equivalent of like buying a PS5. If you know, like a gift voucher, they won't have the actual thing in stock.
Yeah,
They'll just
yeah.
have this little card.
You probably be ordering one.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So instead of
Yeah,
having an actual like coming out with a console under your arm, but imagine if they did do that. Imagine if there was an actual console in the shop that you could go buy, and you get it then and there, and the people who pre-ordered have to wait months. I would be
yeah.
furious.
Hmm.
I would demand either I want my money back or I want loads of free stuff as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's not really much else to say about
Yeah.
that, to be honest. Like, how have they misjudged this so badly that they've allowed pre-orders of that magnitude that they can't fulfill them till next year?
That's insane. That's actually insane.
I understand they won't have as many consoles physically built because I can understand that COVID would cause problems with that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how that can possibly lead to them having this many pre-orders that they can't fulfill them till next year. Whoa.
It's a big thing.
Mm.
So we shall, again, swiftly, like the bird I mentioned earlier, move on to the next
It's
story.
just I don't know how
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
really struggling to say anything about that because I don't know how they could have made that big a mistake.
Same. There's not really
Both of
much.
them.
There's not really much. I mean, there's possibly some of the retailers overestimated how many they'd get. So, it was like some retailers started pre-orders before Sony officially launched it. So maybe they were expecting more consoles than they were actually going to be given.
Yeah, so maybe what you're saying is that Sony said, we can only have so many pre-orders,
Yeah.
and they've all just overdone it.
Yeah.
But
That sounds more logical in my opinion.
yeah, because they've done it for both consoles. So maybe they're used to that. Maybe normally what happens is PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox go to them and say we can give you, 20,000 units, and they're like sell 25 because they always find more.
I
And then
think
they sold 25, and Xbox and PlayStation have gone, no, seriously, COVID, we can't get you more. Uh-oh.
I think normally
You know?
what happens is that people buy the consoles from Sony or the manufacturer, like the people that own it, and then they buy it and then they sell it in their stores. I think that's how it works. They pay a small fee and then they sell it. I think that's how it works. I don't know. Or no, that doesn't make any sense. No, because what happens is that, yeah, they get a deal that they can sell it in the store, then they get a percentage of the money. The stores get a percentage of the money. I think that's how it works.
It's buyer return, I think, or seller return.
Yeah, yeah,
If they can't sell it, they can ship it back,
yeah,
and they don't have to. They get if they sell the unit, they get their share and send on some of the money to Sony. But if they don't sell the unit, they can send this unit back to Sony.
yeah,
That's all I can think of is that it's not actually Sony and Microsoft that have oversold. It's the sellers who have used to overselling, and the other, Sony and Microsoft finding a way to facilitate that, but now they can't.
yeah.
They just can't do it.
I think
And
possibly they're also anticipating if there's another lockdown and people not being able to go to work, so
yeah,
you can't physically build the consoles.
yeah. Well, they build them in America and in Japan. Now, America has never really had a lockdown. They didn't lock down, really, to be honest. And Japan,
They did.
they did lock down. They just did it at a different time, if
Yeah,
memory serves. I think that they locked down in July as opposed to March. But I think that's probably the problem that they've got is
yeah,
that it's physically manufacturing. I could actually see Japan making it much easier to manufacture it like that because I think they operate like that anyway. I genuinely think when they're constructing things, they're in like hermetically sealed environments. I know they've built car engines like the Nissan GTX 500, I think it's called. The engine for that is built in a vacuum by
wow.
machines. So it doesn't the air doesn't get in the way and cause expansion and contraction and you get trapped. So they build it in vacuum.
But so I don't think we can really say anything else on that story apart from the fact that I feel really bad for people that have pre-ordered and are being told it's not going to get there for like 3-4 months.
No. Well, I think that's why Sony and Xbox haven't cancelled, Microsoft haven't cancelled the orders because they don't want to cancel the orders.
I
They
would.
don't want to upset the customers, but they've been put in a position, I think, by the sellers where they don't actually know how to facilitate
I have not seen
the
any.
orders.
I've not seen anything about Microsoft not getting there till 2021. All I've seen is they're not guaranteeing a launch day, so it might be a couple weeks or something like this. But it's not.
Yeah, but it
I've not
also
seen.
could be a couple of months. It doesn't rule it out.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's been no definite about that. It's just been a definite that GameStop in Ireland have told some of their customers they're not going to get it till 2021,
Right.
possibly.
Okay.
I just want
It's
to make that
possible
clear.
that's an Irish thing. It's possible it's an Irish
Let's
thing.
not blame the Irish.
No, as in like they've got certain lockdown rules,
Yeah.
quarantine rules that mean that deliveries
Yeah.
like that can't be shipped because they have to prioritize perishables.
Yes. Well, shall we move on to
Possible.
the last story we have today?
Yes, we shall.
CD Projekt Red has come under some pretty heavy fire this week due to
This is a
Cyberpunk.
new story to me. I've not heard of this before, I don't think.
Okay. CD Projekt Red has come under some pretty heavy fire this week due to Cyberpunk 2077, and this time it's not for controversial imagery in the game. It is due to the fact that they have broken a promise to their workers that there would be no forced overtime leading up to the launch of a game, also known as crunch time. Tommy's talked
Right,
about
so
this.
yeah, I have actually heard of this. Sorry, it's just that
You're the one
I
that
thought it
sent
was,
me it.
Yes, now I understand your okay response. It's because I misread that first sentence. I thought
Yeah.
it said this time it's for controversial imagery. And
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anything.
Okay.
I've heard the crunch time one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Leading up to Cyberpunk 2077 on November 19th, CD Projekt Red are going to be forcing their staff to work 6 days a week. Now, the staff will be paid for their overtime, but can you really put a price on the physical and mental toll something like crunch time has on the human body and mind?
Yes.
Cyberpunk 2077 was originally supposed to be released this year in April, but was pushed back till September and then a further pushback till November. Co-founder, and I hope I've spelt this right, Badwowski, has said that he will take full responsibility for having to put his staff through this. He said, "I take it upon myself to receive the full backlash for the decision. I know this is in direct opposition to what we've said about crunch. It's also in direct opposition to what I personally grew to believe a while back, that crunch should never be the answer. But we've extended all other possible means of navigating this situation."
Okay, I'm just going to interject. You've got the O and the W the wrong way in that name. It's not Badwowski, but you also in Polish pronounce W's as V's. So it's
Badowski.
Badowski.
But
Yes,
I
Badowski.
apologize. I would also just like to remind our listeners, I am dyslexic. And sometimes words get the better of me, especially if they're not, well, even the English language gets the better of me, so.
So foreign talk. So any
Foreign languages.
languages that are not your
Foreign
innate
talk.
speaking language.
Foreign language.
To be honest with you, that was a wee bit of a joke of the fact that you're in Scotland speaking English. It's kind of a wee bit foreign talk to begin with.
All language is foreign to me.
That's a very, very, very equality based statement. All language is foreign to me.
It pretty much is.
Yeah.
All language is foreign to all of us when we're born.
One more point. Leading up to Cyberpunk 2077 on November the 19th of November, is that the release date?
That's what I read as.
Okay, so it's leading up until. Okay, so it's from now until November the 19th of November.
Yeah.
It's not starting the 19th of November. Okay, I've got you.
Did I say starting the 19th of November?
No, I was just wanting to work that one out because if they have to do it from then, that impacts their Christmas.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me when I think I've said something wrong.
No, I just needed to work that out to clarify because it does change the nature of the story. If you're forcing them to work overtime so that they get the thing done before the Christmas break, that's good. That's not bad. That's good.
But it's got people were already working, I think, over the 6 days, the 5 days anyway. But now it's like a forced thing. They're having to work 6 days a week, which I sometimes would think it implies they're probably working more than 6 days, or at least more hours per day than they should be.
I think it means that they originally tried to make it optional and they couldn't get the game done with too many people not being there.
No.
I know that they'll get condemned for this, and rightly so in a way, but there is also a part of me that realizes they're the only company that's tried and they just couldn't make it work. But they're the only company that has tried. And if you actually have a look at the state of the world at the moment, I get why this has happened.
Same. I
Like this is the
understand.
time I understand why this has happened. They'll also be getting mandatory overtime, and they get
Yeah.
10% or 20% of the profit from the game gets split into it gets put into a big pot and split between all the workers equally, I think.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they get that naturally. That already
Is that
comes with
is that under
a
yeah.
CD Projekt Red game. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's a good idea.
Hmm. Like I don't like crunch time. I don't like it, but this is the best possible way you can do it, and it's the I just I don't I think this is the one time that you can understand why this has happened.
I agree. I do agree. I think that's all we can say on that one as well, I'm afraid.
I don't like it. I don't think they like it. You know, even I don't think the people in charge wanted to backtrack on the promise, but like they made the promise and then COVID. Like I
Yeah.
don't think they could have seen that coming, and like if politicians didn't see it coming, I don't think you can blame a video game company.
Yeah.
And I just this is the one time you can understand it, and I think they've done it the right way because they're all getting huge amounts of overtime, and then they get a huge bonus at the end, and I reckon that they'll probably be left alone. They'll probably send the staff home till after Christmas.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, they'll do it the right way, and I genuinely think they tried, and I genuinely think that there's no other option at this point because of COVID.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the social, like all the, I don't have a problem with social justice warriors, as it were, but most social justice warriors seem to pick fights in safe ways, and I
Okay.
can see them picking a fight here
Yeah.
because they know that CD Projekt Red will have tried, and the CD Projekt Red don't want to do this. But CD Projekt Red, because of the type of content they create, the games they develop, are an easy target. So I can see all the video game journalists that just want to pick a fight and make it look like they're really, really great social justice warriors will come out and pick a fight right now with CD Projekt Red. But I would personally ask that they don't, because that is the company you don't want to pick a fight with. Because I mean, like say to them, how did this happen? What went wrong? Why weren't you able to keep your promise? But if they give you an answer that makes sense, leave it. Like, if they give you an answer that makes sense, then they've answered your question. Like, help them if you want to help them. Don't condemn them when their answer makes sense, because you just start alienating the people that you've already got on your side, and you're picking a fight with the only people that are trying. So I think there will be a backlash to this, but it's from people that I actually don't really care if they have a backlash to it. Just like I don't really care about their opinion. You can
Same.
see how this has happened.
Yeah, I think I can. But what do you guys
So
think? Do you guys understand CD Projekt Red's decision? Do you go against it? What do you guys think of the PS5 controversy with the possibly not getting it till 2021? How about you
yeah,
guys
that's
leave
where
a
we need
comment?
the
Leave a
we
comment down
need
below.
investigative game journalists to dig into why there was so many sold. Am I right? Did they always do this? And this year they just can't facilitate the
Yeah.
oversell, or
Yeah.
was it something to do with the console creators themselves?
Yes. Please tell us what you guys think, or you can
Hmm.
email us. If you have your investigative hat on, email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com, or you can find us at Facebook at overshadow.shadowcast. If you guys want to know more about it, you can hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for when we upload. You can also hit that like button, share button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm.
It's elementary, my dear Mewit.
It is. And all I'm going to say now is farewell and thank you guys for listening today and about our massive talk on sweets.
Sweeties!
Farewell.
Exclusive. Bye bye.